Welcome to Terrier Steel. It's been a pleasure to have John Kasich back here and to be able to call him governor this time. We're a 92-year-old family-owned steel fabrication business, and we're proud to call Columbus and Ohio home. Excuse me. We've been on the same site for nearly the entire time that we've been in business, and we're proud to be of this community. It's great to see ideas turn into reality, and I'm glad to see a good idea, JobsOhio, on its way to becoming law. Not every business can do what we've done to survive. It's my hope JobsOhio will provide the help businesses need to do that. As a small business owner, I'd like to see more of them do that because it's good for our economy overall, and hopefully all of those businesses will want new buildings, which we'll be glad to help with. Governor, congratulations on your victory, and thank you for coming back to Terrier Steel.
All right, thank you. Well, it's good to be back here. This is, as he said, almost a 100-year-old company, and we thought it would be appropriate to come back. This is to announce the beginning of the legislative process to pass the JobsOhio bill. We will be introducing this. Mike Duffey is with us, who is the major sponsor in the House. Of course, Senate President Tom Niehaus is here to talk about Senate views on all this, and I'm also here with Mark Kvamme, who, as you know, is the Director of the Department of Development. You know, I can't help but have a day like this without reflecting back on what Jim Rhodes did back in 1963. Rhodes created Rhodes Raiders, and they were out to scour the country in hopes of lifting Ohio economically. And I reflect back on that Time magazine article about Rhodes' vision. He basically created a department back in 1963, 1964 in hopes of being able to organize the Rhodes Raiders in a more effective way. But that was almost 50 years ago. And it worked for a number of decades. But we're to the point now where, in many ways, the Department of Development has been viewed as kind of an addict for moving things in. The department, in many ways, has lost its focus, and as a result of having too many things stuffed into that department, it clearly hasn't been as effective or as efficient as we would like. What we're trying to do here is kind of go forward, but by taking the original Rhodes model and setting loose our entrepreneurs to use their skills to end the siege that Ohio is under. And I have to tell you that Ohio is under a siege. Mark Kvamme goes in his first day, he gets notified of 3 plant closures. Every day there's another company that is approaching us to say that some other state is bidding to get them in, and it's become very clear to me that we are in trouble in terms of being able to stabilize the economy of the state, and let alone to think about how we can go outside of the state and start bringing people in. What JobsOhio is an organization that is going to move at the speed of business, move at the speed of what is needed to be a job creator. And we will have a board of directors who will have deep business experience. They will be people who will work with a team underneath them that will focus on the various sectors of our economy that we think we can leverage for success. And in the meantime, we need to stop the bleeding, and we need to have the tools that Ohio needs in order to get stabilized. And our goal, of course, is to stop the outflow, stabilize the situation, create an environment where Ohio can grow again. Can we? There's no doubt in my mind that we can. We have the people, we have the assets, we have many great companies in this state. We have not been able to work together really as a team to leverage the things that we have that can drive us forward. And we believe that the step towards JobsOhio is going to put us in a great position to begin waging a battle internally and outside the state to keep companies here, and also to have the tools that we need to go out of state to bring people in. But we have a big job to do. There's a long way to go, but this is a very, very giant step in the effort to try to reinvigorate Ohio's economy. It's always useful to have somebody come in with fresh eyes who comes in from out of state to take a look at the situation. And in some ways, Mark has been overwhelmed, and at times even overwhelmed emotionally. I've received calls from him about companies located on the Indiana border that decide to go across, and the damage that it can cause to our communities. He's been upset by what he's seen, but he's also a man of action. He's been traveling the state, I with him at times, but he's really on the ball here. He's an integral part of shaping JobsOhio and making sure that we can have a mechanism that will last, have a mechanism that will be effective, and have a mechanism that will be able to give us the kind of economic growth that we as Ohioans have known and what we now expect. So, Mark?
Thank you. Thank you for coming here today. As the governor mentioned, we are under siege. I fully did not understand that until I took over the position 9 days ago. The first things I had to realize were the fact that we're not just competing on a world stage, we're not just competing on a state stage, we're competing on a local stage as well. And what we need to do is really create an environment and a department that allows us to move at the pace of business. We have some phenomenal folks inside the Department of Development, and we've been able to coalesce that team to add to this effort. So one thing we are doing right now is rationalizing all the different departments inside the Development Department, figuring out what works for job creation and job retention. Those are the two things I am very focused on right now, because we got to retain the jobs, we got to create new jobs. And then figuring out which areas are for other things for the community, and make sure that those guys have what they need to do. But we need to focus today on job creation and job retention. So as I've traveled the state, I've met with a wide variety of companies, automotive companies, technology companies, energy companies, and everyone tells me the same. They want to be in Ohio. They want to be here, but they are running businesses. And when you run a business, you got to make tough economic decisions. We need to have a department that's going to allow us to make tough economic decisions with them and help them. Ohio has some amazing tools. We have the Third Frontier program. The Third Frontier program was established many years ago and was just recently voted back in by the voters. It is a phenomenal tool that we have, but we need to focus it. We need to focus it on job creation. We need to focus it on projects that are more development-oriented than research-oriented. That's a great tool. Second thing is we have a bonding authority through profits that we get from the liquor revenues, liquor profits. That's a phenomenal tool we have to give low-interest loans to keep and retain companies here, as well as allow them to expand. So we have all these tools, but we need to focus them. And that's what JobsOhio is all about, is focusing them in a specific effort to allow us to go do what we need to go do. So I am really excited to work with the Assembly and with the Senate in this process. And Representative Duffey is here sponsoring the bill for us, and I will let him tell you a little bit more about House Bill 1.
Thank you, Mark. It's an honor for me to be the sponsor for House Bill 1, JobsOhio. Obviously it's the primary initiative of Governor Kasich. And what is important to realize about House Bill 1 is that it's simply a framework. So we're starting with the broad structure of what JobsOhio will be. We'll introduce that. And then at the bill's requirement, the Director Kvamme will come back 6 months after the effective date of the bill with recommendations on how to transition certain sections of the Ohio Department of Development over contractually to JobsOhio. So that's all this does, simply a framework. There'll be more work to come 6 months later. I look forward to working with all the partners on this. We're going to have proponent and sponsor testimony next Tuesday, State Government Committee, and you'll learn a lot more about the details of the bill right now. It's still under draft. And the Senate President is here with us today, and I'd like to talk to have him come up and talk a little bit about the Senate's perspective.
Thank you, Mike. Well, it's my honor today to be here on behalf of the Senate to underscore the importance we place on JobsOhio. We are a committed partner of the governor and the House to move this bill forward. You know, I've been in the legislature 10 years and have had the opportunity to work with the Department of Development in a number of areas over those years, and have been frustrated by the slow pace and the bureaucracy that we've encountered. And while the people who work there may be well-intentioned, they just don't move as fast as business. And we need the opportunity to get answers when companies are thinking about expanding, when companies are thinking about coming to Ohio. We need to get them answers quickly so that they can make those important strategic business decisions. You know, you look at a company like Terrier Steel and you think, what can we do to stimulate the economy so that they can get their fabricators back to work? They can put up more steel, we have more buildings, and it means getting the economy going. It means being responsive to business. I'm happy to report that this will also be a priority bill for the Senate. It will be Senate Bill 1. And we will be most likely moving on a concurrent path with the House, also having hearings so that we can move this initiative forward. I've had the opportunity over the last couple of weeks to spend time with Mark Kvamme. I'm excited about the opportunities that he's identified. I also am aware of the challenges, but I think we have the right people in place to tackle this, to be successful. And I think as the details of this come public, you're going to be excited about the potential it offers for the state of Ohio. So I'm happy to be here, lend the support of the Senate, to be a full partner in this process, and look forward to working with the governor and Mark Kvamme and Mike Duffey as we move forward. So, Governor, I'll turn it back to you.